everybody, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the show, coming to you from right here at the AMC Burbank Studios here in Hollywood, California. We're not in Hollywood, we're in Burbank. I just said that. And I had a great time last night. I will tell you all about it in just a second.
Also, here is writer-director John Schnepp.
Hello. Hi there. What's going on?
Also, here's AMC's Christian Harloff.
One-word answers.
Hey, guys, listen, before we get going in the news, as happens sometimes before we get to these nice topics we see here, a few other items have dropped, but also I want to tell you about something. So last night, I had me and Ann had a chance to go to the premiere of Inside Out last night, where I was dressed red for anger. Anne was wearing a bunch of blue for Joy's hair. And yes, that is a clown juggler on stilts behind us. That was part of the big pre-party they had there. And I think we got a picture of our badge there, if you got that. I don't know if, yeah, there it is, which was a lot of fun. I just want to say, I put out a short tweet review yesterday, and it was filled with expletives, so I can't repeat what my tweet review was. But this movie is so good. This movie is so effing awesome. Now you know what a freak I am for Pixar. This pole vaulted into my top 3, maybe my top 2 favorite Pixar films of all time. It's going to win Best Animated Film. I was just saying, I'll be shocked if it doesn't get nominated for Best Picture. This movie was freaking awesome. I had so much fun. I know a bunch of the crew are going to get to see it tonight. You're going to see it tonight too. I know Wendy's seeing it tonight. But I cannot wait for you guys to see this movie because it's just that good. All right, now let's move on to a couple things that dropped after we put our show notes together. Apparently, do we know where this came from, by the way? But apparently, I remember word was out yesterday that the synopsis for Batman v Superman was going to drop.
Collider.
I saw
Collider
report
on
on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the official short synopsis for Batman v Superman has dropped. And I'm going to tell you before we read it off, I'm a little nervous about it. But here's what it reads. It reads this. Fearing the actions of a godlike superhero left unchecked, Gotham City's own formidable force vigilante takes on Metropolis's most revered modern-day savior, while the world wrestles with what sort of hero it really needs. And with Batman and Superman at war with one another, a new threat quickly arises, putting mankind in greater danger than it's ever known before. Dun, dun, dun. So, I don't like it. I don't like it, and here's why I don't like it. Remember, this is just a synopsis. I mean, the movie could be totally fine, so we're just talking about the synopsis, okay? I don't like the synopsis because one of my fears about Batman vs. Superman, everybody knows it is my most anticipated film of 2016, even more anticipated than the Star Wars anthology film. This is my most anticipated film of 2016. And I've always said this movie needs to keep its focus on Batman and Superman. Keep the focus on Batman v Superman. I don't want a 20-minute intro of the movie where Batman and Superman have some issues and then they work it out and then really the movie's totally about something else. I am totally nervous about that. The rumors have been going around about possible doomsday. I think that would be a huge mistake right now. Once again, this is all really early. Maybe they do it and it works great. And we're leaving the possibility for that. I'm just saying my initial thoughts and feelings are, this makes me nervous, me personally. Anyway, Schnepp, you read this synopsis. What's your first reaction to it?
My first reaction is the opposite of yours. I see what you're saying as far as how it could make you nervous. But for me, I actually didn't want it to all be about Superman and Batman having a drag-out fight, getting to learn to know each other, and then being friends at the end and shaking hands in credits. I'm happy to see that they're bringing Wonder Woman in, that they're bringing Aquaman in, and they're creating the DC universe inside of this special movie called Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. So reading that synopsis and seeing the trailer, you already know by seeing the trailer that people have issues with Superman. You know, he destroyed half of Metropolis. Who is this weird alien? That's probably how it begins. Takes Batman, who maybe was retired or just never caught or whatever, and his focus now goes on Superman. That could easily be the first hour of the film. I think it's a 2-hour film, if not a 2:20.
Right.
So I'm totally cool with that. And if they do bring in a character like Doomsday and he's built, say by Lex Luthor's, whatever, taking Zod's, Kryptonian, however they end up making a Doomsday to fit into this world of this new Superman and Batman series, you know, it's going to take more than Superman. It'll probably take Wonder Woman and Batman to take out a creature like Doomsday. So it could be the way that the Justice League is formed. You know, it's sort of like, it excites me. I'm glad that they're not saying that, oh, there's other things going on besides Batman versus Superman. There's something else that forces them to maybe join up and fight it together. So,
Christian?
I'm shocked that you didn't like it, because for the most part, minus the part with the fact there's a new threat, it looks like someone could have just written that synopsis right after they saw the trailer, because it's exactly what I got from the trailer, and there was nothing in there that I went, oh, really? I went, oh, that's exactly what I saw from the trailer. And like you said, Schnepp, that's kind of what I assume is going to happen anyway, because I can't imagine they're going to focus on Batman v Superman the entire movie. I just don't think it's going to happen, because they have too much to do with Wonder Woman and Aquaman and everyone being in there, that unless they throw it in there in the last 5 minutes, that the threat comes in the last 10 minutes and they've got to fight it. I think you're right, Schnepp. I think it'll probably be for like that first 45 minutes, an hour. It's going to be all about the battle. Give us a good battle. Would you be all right with that if the setup was really great, but that fight, when they do fight, it's just one of the best cinematic fights we've ever seen. And then because there's really no more to do after that, then they go, okay, whatever the threat, be it Doomsday or someone else, they go, okay, and let's partner together here. We just kick the crap out of each other. Let's go fight.
I don't know. I
fun.
mean, I think you could do a movie that the focus of the film. I mean, the movie is called Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
I think it's not Batman v Superman parentheses Doomsday.
but it's called Batman v Superman:
Dawn of Justice. Right, but see,
That
that's
is
why I
the
say.
second part.
But I think you can have the movie that is. The focus of the movie is the rivalry and the distrust and whatever between Batman versus Superman. They go to battle, and within the context of that, you introduce Wonder Woman, and within the context of that, you introduce Aquaman and the kid who becomes Cyborg and whatever else. And that's what I thought they were going to do. So if you read this synopsis here, let's bring that synopsis up one more time. If you read the synopsis here and you get to the part where it says, "A vigilante takes Metropolis' revered modern-day savior while the world wrestles with what sort of hero it really needs." Period. And if it ends right there, I'm more excited, because, you know, within the scope of this movie, they're going to introduce all this other stuff.
Right.
What worries me is not that you have other stuff, is that then the focus of the movie moves from Batman and Superman onto Doomsday. And the other thing, I hope it's not Doomsday, because Doomsday deserves his own freaking movie, that he is the main problem.
It could be, although it's probably a bigger villain, but it could just be Lex Luthor.
It could be.
Could be the threat.
Yeah.
And because we haven't seen him at all, and people just know that he's in the movie, so you kind of look past him, but he could be the threat.
Yeah. And you know what? Your point raises a really good point, is that a lot of this is based on assumption now.
Right.
I'm assuming a lot. We're all assuming a lot. Look, still my most anticipated movie of 2016 above everything else, even more than Captain America Civil War, even more than the Star Wars anthology film. This is the one I'm looking forward to most. That's why I'm most nervous about it, because I really want this to be awesome. All right, the other thing that dropped here in movie news was the first trailer for the new and final Hunger Games film. So we just watched this thing. Christian, you saw. What are your thoughts about the new trailer?
Oh, I dig it, man. And I think it goes off of everything that they're doing. They have a lock on this franchise. I enjoyed the first one, again, because I have read the books. I know where it's going. So I understand that some people may have thought the first one was a slow burn, but this clearly plays into...
By the first one, you mean Mockingjay
Part 1, yes. And this is clearly the second half of one movie.
Right.
And it feels like it. So we're going to get the conclusion. It is exactly what I want. I want them attacking the Capitol. I want to see the band that we've seen. The only thing that I had a problem with is because it's kind of similar to what you guys were talking about yesterday with The Martian, is that they show a plot point, even though you kind of assume it would happen anyway. You see a plot point that happened at the end of Mockingjay Part 1 that you clearly know gets resolved in this because of this trailer. And it's one little piece, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. It looks like they're going right after Snow. You even get to see Donald Sutherland again making that smirk that he's got on his face, and that kind of pompous thing that Snow's been doing. It looks like the conclusion I want.
Schnepp?
Yeah, I agree. It's a perfect. This is, to me, was a perfect trailer. Like, where it showed just enough of the action. It showed you a few of the plot points. I don't think that it got too into spoiler territory. They didn't show you everything, but they gave you enough knowing that, look, they are going to storm the Capitol. Right. And you expected that. You expect that if you watch any of the other Hunger Games series, that this is the end. This is her destiny, and they're going head to head. So it's exciting to me, and I thought it was a really good trailer.
Yeah, I thought the trailer was actually fantastic. I think even in glimpses of the trailer, they did a good job. And one of my criticisms of the first Hunger Games film was that the scope felt very narrow. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like a worldwide struggle. There's something about the way they handled their narrative and their visuals at the same time that it felt very finite in its size and scope, you know? Watching this trailer, This feels like the world is on the edge.
Yeah.
The world is on the brink. And that felt really good. And one of the other things about that, like you're mentioning the kind of plot point it gives away. One of the things I'll say about this, and you won't hear me say this very often, unlike a lot of TV shows that might get turned into movies, or a lot of books that get turned into movies, or even a lot of comic books that turn into movies, there's a very high percentage of the audience that is going to go see Hunger Games that have also read the Hunger Games books. Often I say the opposite. It's like, look, 1% of the audience that's going to see this comic book movie have actually read the comic. It doesn't matter. This one, it's a little bit different.
Right. Harry Potter.
Yeah, this basically Harry Potter, right? The popularity of these books is crazy, and a lot of people have read them. So I think they can get away with that a little bit, but I noticed that thing too you pointed out. All right, let's get on to our first official topic today.
All right. The new Marvel film Ant-Man hits AMC theaters on July 17th, but it's just been announced that you can catch a special 6-minute preview of the film this weekend. The preview will be playing in front of the new Jurassic World on IMAX screens. John, do you like the idea of a 6-minute preview of Ant-Man in front of Jurassic World?
Well, from a business point of view for IMAX, it's a great move. I mean, IMAX right now, IMAX used to be the only name of the game when it came to the big premium screen, things like that. Now we have these other things like the Dolby stuff, the AMC Primes, and other theater chains are starting to develop their own in-house premium screens as well. IMAX wants to stay at the forefront of people's minds and stuff like that. And to make deals like this where, hey, you can't just don't go see Jurassic World anywhere. In our theaters, you get to come and see this. I think it's a very good move for them. It's a move that worked for Guardians of the Galaxy did something similar as well, and it worked great for them at the same time. So, and for fans who want to see that 6-minute preview, I know there are a lot of fans who won't want to see that preview. They want to keep it as secret as possible. But for the ones who do, just make sure you don't see Jurassic World on an IMAX screen, or go see it on the IMAX screen and you'll be totally good. So I really don't see a downside to this. Schnepp, what do you think?
No, I think it's great. And I like that it's Ant-Man in a giant IMAX. It's like, see the tiniest guy in the biggest screen. I think that's fun. I don't know if I want to see the first 6 minutes, but, you know, just even seeing that still of Yellow Jacket, I was like, man, that the design that they put into the characters, it looks so good that I'm like, boy, I have to wait till June 17th, or can I see 6 minutes? The choice is hard right now. So
I'm on two different minds of it. The first being on the negative side is that they're worried about it because not a lot of people know about it. They need to do whatever they can to get more people to know about it. So they're throwing away the 6 minutes. But that's a marketing play that, like you said, worked for Guardians. And on the good side of it, it's that they have enough confidence in the movie to show 6 minutes and say, we're really proud of this. Here are 6 minutes of this movie. You want to see this when it comes out. So I'm swaying more on the good side of it because it's a movie that I've been saying for a long time. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be one of the best of the summer, and I'll stick by that still. And I just think that for putting it out there, especially before a movie of Jurassic Park size, pun intended, I guess. It's a smart play marketing wise.
All right, what's next?
As many of you know, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is gearing up to star in and produce a remake to the 1986 classic Big Trouble in Little China. In a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, Johnson revealed that he's looking to bring on the director of the original, John Carpenter, as well. Johnson said the following: "We want to bring on John Carpenter. It felt like if we surrounded ourselves with the right group of people, the right writers who love the movie too, and wanted to honor it, bring on John Carpenter in some capacity. If we did that, then we had a shot at hopefully making something good. Let's see what feels good, what we can come up with, and then go from there. As we write it, if the whole thing starts to stink up, then we thank everybody for their efforts and accept this just couldn't make it." Christian, what do you think about Johnson's comments?
Well, I think, Schnepp, you said that your favorite Carpenter movie was which the one with paper. It doesn't matter what you think because it was The Rock saying Carpenter was going to be in this movie, having to be part of this movie. It's great. I love it. I love the idea just to have Carpenter on set and being able to talk about making the first one, and you want the consultant there. It's like it makes sense. It's like having Spielberg around for Jurassic World. It's the guy who created the world. Why wouldn't you want him there? It makes complete sense. I love the idea. Not directing. I don't want to see him direct it. I love Carpenter, but I just at this point, let's get somebody new. I still like my idea with Gareth Evans. So I think that could be something fun. But yeah, I like that The Rock is going to embrace what this movie is, and it always gives me optimism when they say, I want to get back to what the original is all about and not stray too far away.
Freaking love these comments. This just goes to show not only is Rock the most electrifying person in Hollywood today, this dude is so social media savvy and he so understands his audience so well. Let's say he knows there's no chance he can get John Carpenter away from the slot machine at the Pechanga Casino where he's enjoying his retirement. Even just to say it is going to put so many, because look, I love the notion of The Rock in A Big Trouble in Little China, but let's call it what it is. There's a lot of people out there who didn't. And for him to even to invoke the name of John Carpenter and say, yeah, we want to get Carpenter involved and stuff like that, knowing that's going to quell a lot of that and make people go, oh, well, maybe this could be all right. But I also love what he says at the end. He's got such a good level head and communicates it. Hey, we're going to try putting this thing together, and if it's not working, we say, oh, well, we tried, and walk away from it. I love that mentality. This dude just continues to impress me. So yeah, anyway, Schnapp, what do you think?
I think that I could smell what The Rock is cooking right now, and I'm in agreement with him. I think getting Carpenter on as a consultant, and also it's a way of honoring John Carpenter as well. Because like when you get him on as a consultant, basically what you're saying is like, give that man $2 million, have him on set, have him at the writer's room.
$2 million.
Or whatever. Let's get,
I'm in the wrong line of business. I want to consult.
That's, he
does that work? Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, look, I'm just saying, Carpenter deserves it, especially when they do these these relaunches and reboots, to have him, the guy who came up with this, in the room, throwing some ideas around, or like, hey, I wanted to try this. I didn't have the money for it. Or like 10 years later, I thought about this as a sequel. This could be fun. Just to spitball some ideas with the guy who actually came up with it and made it so much fun. I think he's incredibly intelligent and smart to go that route. And also, it does quell all the people who are like, what about, Carpenter should be involved. Carpenter doesn't even want to direct anymore. He just wants to chill out and relax. And if people want to remake his films, he said, he's on record as saying they should, I should get a little piece of that. I'm the guy who helped come up with it. It shouldn't just be like, thanks. It should be like he should be involved in some way. So I think it's definitely honoring John Carpenter. So I totally love it.
And remember too, with people who are not happy with The Rock being involved with it, if John Carpenter gets involved with it, that almost legitimizes The Rock's presence. And it's well, John Carpenter. Now let's remember too, that this Big Trouble in Little China was one of the films that Carpenter didn't actually write. So he didn't write that one, unlike what he did with a lot of his other films. But still, I mean, his influence is so strong on that film that I think it just really goes towards your point.
It felt like a John Carpenter movie.
Well, I mean,
it very much does, yeah.
He's not on the screenplay, or maybe he's with like story by or whatever, but it's like he definitely brought in a lot of elements that he wanted to do. That's why they made it, is they wanted to make an homage to those Kung Fu films. They want to have this kind of action kind of stuff. So.
All right, we've reached that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Daredevil showrunner Steven DeKnight has reportedly joined Paramount Pictures' Transformers Writers' Room. The Transformers Writers' Room is a group of writers charged with mapping out the future of multiple Transformers films and franchises, a Transformers shared universe, if you will. DeKnight was also the creator and showrunner for the popular series Spartacus. Schnepp, buy or sell Steven DeKnight joining the Transformers Writers' Room?
I buy it, man. Anybody who can rock those kind of tattoos, I mean, let him do whatever he wants. No, I think it's great. I think he did an amazing job with Daredevil. I mean, I haven't seen Spartacus yet, but John raves about it all the time. I think the guy's really smart. I saw him on Showrunners, saw him speak about just where he's going, what he wants to do with story. So bringing him on to the Transformers, I think, is a plus for the Transformers, because maybe they'll get a good movie out of, at least the story-wise. These spin-offs and shared universe. You should actually get him involved in the Robin Hood shared universe, because maybe they could. I'm just kidding, joking about that. But yeah, him on the Transformers shared universe, I think it's a hit. I buy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something Schnepp just alluded to as well. Dennis worked on a movie called Showrunners that I think you can watch on iTunes or whatever right now. And Daredevil, Steven DeKnight is a big part of that film, and you really get an insight into him and who he is. And he's also a Joss Whedon guy. I mean, he worked with Whedon on Buffy and on Angel and stuff, and Dollhouse. Spartacus, I can't emphasize enough. If you guys haven't watched that show, Spartacus, I think it should be on Netflix right now. It's just put your head down, plug your nose, and get through the first 3 episodes, and it turns into one of the greatest shows, one of my all-time favorite shows. It's incredible. And then we saw what he did with Daredevil, and what he did with that first season of Daredevil. Such a good thing. Look, I'm as skeptical. I drank the Kool-Aid for the last Transformers film. Shame on me. I'm not going to be fooled again. But I'm telling you, This Transformers writers room they're pulling together, guys from Fringe, guys from Walking Dead, now adding a guy like Steven DeKnight. They're putting some really talented people in these rooms. And if they're really giving them the freedom, like they say they are, they're giving them the freedom to just kind of create and go in whatever direction they want to go. There could be some good stuff to come out of this. A name like DeKnight on this, I think, is a great addition because DeKnight is also very R, and he's very edge, and he's all that kind of stuff. And to bring some of that to it, very smart move. This gives me the slightest glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel for this Transformer shared universe idea. Anyway, Christian, what did you think?
Yeah, I buy it. Steven DeKnight is a guy, not only is his credits and stuff too, but he's very active on social media. And he talks to the fans and everything too. And that's a guy, not just because, hey, thanks for watching my stuff. He listens.
Yeah, and he interacts.
He interacts. And he's listening to what people are saying out there too. And a lot of people are saying, hey, guess what? Transformers stinks like someone just had a bad taco. And now it's to have him and, like you said, John, with all those other writers in there, this should give us hope. And Steven DeKnight joining the team, and for everyone that's involved now to see what they can come up with, yes, it's hopeful. But it really is going to, if they can cast these or put together these good writers, now you go to the director and some good talent. You know, nothing against Mark Wahlberg, but he was just kind of skating around that movie, didn't know what he was doing. Let's get some people in this movie. You know, or even if you're going to bring Wahlberg back, now let him actually act and have some directors that actually want to do it, and it's not just a slow motion. And I'm not going to go one bit, but all I'm saying is, if you're going to put together, don't waste this team like a Steven DeKnight and these other people on the same crap you've been doing. Turn it around. This is hopeful.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
According to The Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers has their upcoming AKIRA project moving again and has brought on Daredevil Season 2 co-showrunner Marco J. Ramirez to write the script for the film. Set in a future city environment called New Manhattan, the sci-fi epic follows the leader of a bike gang who must save his best friend, who has been experimented on by the government, causing him to develop dangerous and destructive psychokinetic powers. John Barisel Ramirez writing AKIRA.
Yeah, I like it. He's done some good work on like shows like Orange is the New Black. He also wrote a bunch of the episodes of Sons of Anarchy, which everybody knows how much I loved Sons of Anarchy. So this is a really good addition to it. I can't see any reason other than to buy it. Christian?
Yeah, I'll buy it as well. Like you said, Orange is the New Black, and what he's worked with so far in Sons of Anarchy, character-driven stuff. So I don't want to just see, this is going to look cool, this movie, regardless, but I want to see some more depth to it. Looks like he's going to add to it. We don't know yet what Season 2 is going to bring of Daredevil, but you assume from his previous work, we're going to get some more stuff in Daredevil. What I like is that they're picking people from this Netflix area and seeing what these writers and directors have done. So this is encouraging.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it too. I'm excited to see this live action version of AKIRA finally, maybe taking form. It's been, talked about for many years now, ever since Leonardo DiCaprio got the rights, and so he's still involved as a producer. But I'd love to see something, because it's not going to be the AKIRA comic book, and nor will it be the Neo Tokyo, the actual AKIRA adaptation animated movie. They're going a different direction. They're going to put it in New York. I would love to see them change the actual story as well, just to give us something new, and don't just go by the comic or go by just remaking the actual AKIRA animated movie that we've already seen. I'd love to see them add to it. So
you're saying take the themes of it and then expand on it in a new context.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Brad Pitt has been busy lately and is currently working on a spy thriller with director Robert Zemeckis, based on a script by Eastern Promises writer Steve Knight. The film still doesn't have a title yet, but it does have a co-star, as Deadline is reporting that Academy Award-winning actress and co-star of The Dark Knight Rises, Marion Cotillard, has joined the cast. Christian Barisel, Marion Cotillard joining the new Brad Pitt spy thriller.
For those of you who don't know that this question shouldn't be on my table, because I'll buy her in anything she's in. This is like my girl as far as everything, as far as just being classy, beautiful, and one of the best actresses out there today.
Yeah.
She adds to every project she's in. Every time she's in a movie, it's like, oh, she should be nominated for an Academy Award. Hers, Edith Piaf. Are you kidding me?
Olivia and Rose.
Oh,
what a great film!
So good. She's amazing. She's an incredible. Because she's one of those rare actresses that it's just great acting for me is always like just the eyes, and minus The Dark Knight Rises when she died. It's like the one thing. Sorry, spoiler too.
Right.
But minus that one scene, she's incredible and adds and elevates every project she's in. So huge buy for me.
I'm going to sell it.
Get out of
I'm
here.
going to sell it, and here's why. There is no denying Marion Cotillard's talent. There's no denying. And when you look at who is writing this movie, who is directing this movie, who else is starring in this movie, it's all great. But I will say this: as insanely talented as she is, I can't help but wonder if it's a little bit like if Al Pacino tried to do a film in Spanish.
Ha!
If something, if the little something might get lost in that, because I'll tell you right now, I've certainly liked her in a lot of her English-speaking performances. I have never been blown away by any of her English-speaking performances. I wasn't blown away by her in Inception, to be honest. I wasn't. And that's not a knock on Inception as a whole. Right. So for that reason alone, I'm just very, very... I'm not against her at all, but just for now, I'm just going to vary by the my slimmest of hairs. I'm going to say so.
I'm going to full head hair by this.
Full head of hair by this.
I think she's an incredible actress. I'm with you. I think anytime she's on screen, she brings just an extra layer, another level to the performance. So whatever this film is going to be has just been enhanced because they added her. So.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. So, Ashley, what's in the mailbag today?
Donald Long writes, "Hey AMC crew, with the new Jurassic World /Park coming out this week, my question is, in the new movie, did they mix CGI and animatronic dinosaurs like they did with 1, 2, 3, or are they all CGI? Thanks and keep up the great work."
Now, instead of going to see Jurassic Park last night, I went to go see Inside Out instead. So let me tell you what I guess, and then I'm going to put it over to somebody who has seen the movie, see how close or how far off I really am. My assumption, if you look at the original Jurassic Park films, it was much like what I said what they could do with Gremlins. Close-up shots where there's not a lot of movement, make a practical puppet. And that's what they did in Jurassic Park. When it's a close-up thing or like the Stegosaurus is just laying on the ground and breathing, go practical when you can. But whenever you saw a lot of movement in action, that's when they CG animated. I'm going to guess that they applied the same principle in this film. And now let's talk to a guy who's actually seen the movie. Christian, having watched the film, what's the impression you got? How did you think they handled it?
I would say you are incorrect, sir.
Oh, okay, really?
Only because from watching it, it seemed about 90% to 90%, 10% more towards the CGI. Yeah, I was trying, and I could be wrong. It could be 100% for all I know. But I was trying. I was actually looking, and we had a conversation about it after I saw the movie. And I'm like, well, that seemed practical. That seemed like there was animatronics, but that's the majority of it. I would say is heavy in the CGI, but. That's not to say it takes away. We have evolved a lot, even from when the original came out. So yeah, if you're looking for it, I'm curious. I want to know what the actual number is, but that's what I would guess.
Yeah, my guess would be it's anytime they used any practical like hands or feet that they then replaced them with CG. That those were just stand-ins. I'm guessing that it's 100% CG.
I think there's one particular shot that I think when you see it, you'll go, okay, that one. Definitely.
Reason I'm saying that is because I just saw San Andreas, and the visual effects in that blew me away because I know that almost every single scene that you see The Rock on that, the water boat is completely 100%. They just were in a green screen. All of that's green screen. They never were riding around in the water. Maybe one or two, but all of that water is fake. All of the buildings are fake. And it's incredible. It's very realistic. I mean, it tricked me, and I knew it was all fake, and I kept saying this is all fake, and it's pretty realistic. So to make dinosaurs was one of the very first things they did. I mean, we're still at that uncanny valley, which is what is called when we haven't made human beings who are like realistic looking yet. They still look kind of fake, but we are so close that when you're dealing with dinosaurs and stuff, they're like, just make it CG. It's so much easier. That's one of the unfortunate reasons that Rick Baker quit.
Right.
I mean, because he's like, look, there's no jobs out there for me to do. Everyone's doing it CG, or they're underbidding us, so we can't compete with that. So it's a sad day for practical effects in a certain sense, but they're not, practical effects aren't dead by any means. But when you have something like Jurassic World, it kind of almost says like, look, we've got this. So,
but we do know, like at the very least, like the one practical, like the moving puppet that they made, that giant water dinosaur that eats the great white. That's a puppet. That's not CG. Take that to the bank. All right, what's next?
Christopher LeDan writes, with all these sequels confirmed and being talked about, my 3 I'm looking forward to are John Wick 2, The Equalizer 2, and Mad Max The Wasteland. What are some that you all are excited about or think will do well? Keep up the great work. Best show ever.
I like all the ones you mentioned. John Wick 2 is one I'm particularly excited about. I still can't believe how much I enjoy them. I like The Equalizer quite a bit. I thought Antoine Fuqua did a really good job on that. And obviously Mad Max, see where they go with that. The other forthcoming ones, the ones that are being developed that I'm really excited about, got to start with The Incredibles 2. I mean, I'm so stoked for that. I mean, this movie's so long overdue. I mean, it seems like the biggest topic all the time since we started AMC Movie Talk has been, why is there no Incredibles 2? Well, now we know that it's coming. Yeah. And then obviously Star Wars Episode 7. Right. I mean, so obviously that. So what are some sequels that you're waiting to see, Schnepp?
For me, the ones I've been waiting even longer than The Incredibles. King Conan with Arnold. I would love to see that. They've been announcing it and then not doing it and then announcing it and not doing it. They've just recently re-announced it. Arnold says they're making it. I want to see it. And Blade Runner 2, surprisingly, I was first kind of off-put by it, but then hearing how they're putting it together, Ryan Gosling coming on, I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Like, now we're like 30 more years ahead into the future, like 2049. So we'll see where Blade Runner, the world is at that point. So
yeah, Blade Runner 2 is one of the ones I was going with as well, and for exactly those reasons, the way that it's coming together. But I'll go animation as well too. I'm curious with Finding Dory and how that's going to play out, and Wreck-It Ralph 2 is another one.
Oh yeah, Wreck-It Ralph 2.
So those are the ones, and yeah, I'll go Star Wars as well too. I mean, I don't know if necessarily Rogue One counts as a sequel because it's kind of brand new, but it still fits into the universe, so it's ish. So I'm taking it.
What about you, Ashley? What's like a sequel or something that you would be really looking forward to seeing?
Princess Bride 3.
Princess Bride 3.
Because there's already a 2.
Weirdly enough, I'm really excited to see how Zoolander 2 turns out, just because I love the marketing. The marketing for Zoolander 2 has been amazing. Like that fashion show they did, it was hilarious. And we saw the trailer at the top of the show for Mockingjay Part 2. I'm so excited for that. But the one thing I just cannot buy with this is that it's going to be the final installment in the Mockingjay, or the Hunger Games franchise. Like, I have to believe that somehow they're either with, they're doing that Harry Potter thing with Eddie Redmayne and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I think that's
funny
what it's
you say that,
called.
because actually it's not the end. They've already actively talked about all the different houses from the Hunger Games.
Are they really going to do that?
The districts, thank you. They're not. I mean, if you've read the books and you're a big fan of
I haven't read the books, but I'm
just saying it's like, I haven't read the books, and I'm a moderate fan of the films, but I've heard about all the districts. They're like developing that into something. That's
awesome. I'm
as
super
a possible
excited
way
to
do a spin-off, either TV series or a new set of films or something. So I know
it would be interesting to see a story of Panem and what got them to that point. Like what happened so it's not really a prequel per se. Go 100 years in the past, so there's no President Snow, there's no Mockingjay. What got the world to that point? That would be interesting. See, I might be kind of curious about that. All right, folks, that'll do it for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films playing at AMC Theaters. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for all of your theater, showtime, and of course, your movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video for our podcast feed, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to thank, first of all, the guy sitting at the table with me, sitting over here, Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
Hey, you guys can find me at Twitter and Instagram, just at John Schnepp and at TDOSLWH. Go to www.tdoslwh.com. The film, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened, my documentary, is available for pre-order. You can get the super pack right now. It's got 8 hours of extra features.
And it's only $75. Sitting over here,
it's not $75.
Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, where can people find you?
Well, both Christian Harloff on Instagram and Twitter, and Mark and I are trying to get to 200,000 subscribers on Schmoes Know. So on YouTube, just go to the channel, please. By July, if you can get us to 200,000 subscribers, hit subscribe button.
And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you?
On Twitter and on Instagram at Ashley Mova. Happy what
Tuesday.
day is it? Tuesday.
You so drunk. And of course, you can find me on the various social media channels on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. It's simply at John Campia. That'll do it for us, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. My name's John Campia, and until next time, bye-bye.